This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Marissa Roberto on the Digital Sportscentre presented by Montana's Barbecue and Bar. And there are only 6 teams in action on the ice tonight, and just one Canadian team, as the Leafs are in New York taking on the Rangers in an original 6 matchup. Toronto and New York are both on winning streaks right now, with the Leafs earning 3 straight dubs, and the Rangers too. But their spots in the standings could not be more different. The Buds are a single point back of the Panthers for first in the Atlantic, and they do have 2 games in hand on the reigning champs. Right behind them though is Tampa, who have won 7 in a row, and are making this a true 3-team race for the division as the season winds down. Now, as good as things are for Toronto though, they aren't that great for Austin Matthews. He's actually gone 12 straight games without scoring on a goalie. Seriously, 12. And that just doesn't happen to a scorer like that. He's gone 9 NHL games and 3 at the Four Nations face-off. Now, he did score an empty netter Saturday against Carolina, just to clarify. Do we think the Four Nations face-off is still weighing heavy on him? Possibly. New York, meanwhile, is 8 points back of the Devils for 3rd in the Metro. So their hopes of making the playoffs would have to come through the wild card, where they are currently 4 points behind Columbus. So depending on how these next couple games go, are they going to be buyers or sellers at the deadline? And when that comes to the Leafs, we have to assume that they're going to be buyers. But I'm not sure they need to buy anything offensively, because they're one of 5 teams this year with 6 players who have scored 15 or more goals, which is some great depth scoring. The Rangers, meanwhile, have had a lot more trouble this season than others keeping pucks out of the net. New York is giving up over 3 goals per game, which is 12th most in the NHL. And despite being top 20 in goals saved above expected, Igor Shesterkin's save percentage and goals against are career lows right now. All of this to say, we're shaping up for some interesting Friday night hockey. I just feel like Friday night hockey is an odd night. Same with Sunday night hockey. It gives me weird vibes. To the NFL, with the Combine going strong, it means we're getting a ton of NFL rumors, specifically about Rams quarterback Matt Stafford. Well, after a ton of speculation, it looks like Stafford will be staying in LA after all, as he reportedly met with head coach Sean McVay today to discuss his future, and the two sides have reportedly come to an agreement. They've yet to finalize a deal, so we don't know any numbers just yet, but we do know from a Diana Rossini report this morning that both the Raiders and Giants are planning to offer Stafford a deal for 2 years with 90 to 100 mil guaranteed, so we can imagine that it will be somewhere in that neighborhood. And with Stafford sticking around, Schefter reported that the Giants are investigating all veteran QB options, including, you guessed it, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, you know what? Let's just have Aaron stick around so we can make fun of him a little while longer. To the association, and the Raps are back in action tonight in Chicago, taking on the Bulls. And let's just be honest about the Raps with 23 games left to go in the season. It's all about lottery balls and the possibility of landing Cooper Flagg of Duke, or many of the other great prospects in this draft. They currently have the 5th worst record in the NBA, but are only 2 behind the Pelicans in the loss column, who have won 3 straight and 4 of their last 5. But beware of the Sixers, who are dropping to the bottom at a crazy pace, losing 9 straight. The way things currently stand, the Raps have a 10.5% chance of landing the 1st overall pick, and a 42.2% chance of landing a top 4 pick. But if they can flip with New Orleans and get into the bottom 4, that turns into a 12.5% chance at number 1, and just under 50% odds of landing a top 4 pick. So Raptors fans, cheer for losses and for the Pelicans to win. And one way to lose games is to have guys sick. And tonight the Raps could be without Scotty Barnes, who is listed as questionable with a hip contusion. For the Bulls, Nikola Vucevic is doubtful. And you can watch the Raps and Bulls tonight on TSN. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern. TSN continues to celebrate Black History Month. As we've shown you all throughout the month, we've been honoring and recognizing athletes who continue to break barriers and fight for equality both inside and outside of sports. But today's vignette is a little different, as we're going to look at the CFL and their rich history of diversity and how they empower players, coaches, and executives.
When you're thinking about the diversity, that's just something, the fabric of our country. If it's a CFL, that's what they're supposed to be doing.
You know, as a Canadian here growing up, I played quarterback, and if I was watching the NFL game, I would have never thought black guys played quarterback.
I've been fortunate. I knew Bernie Custis, and for him to break a huge barrier, and Chuck Ely, and Warren Moon, and the CFL has been kind of groundbreaking, if you will, and trailblazing of sorts.
The diversity in football program has been huge to kind of get people like me. If I hadn't had that program, it would have been tough to show that I have the ability to coach at this level, and I think a lot of people do have that ability. They just don't have the opportunities and not exposed.
Time now for my favorite segment and yours that we love sports today.
Why we love sports today.
We all saw what happened to Rob Ray between the benches about a week ago. If you didn't, well, here it is again.
The puck is dropped and it's 4-0 in the opening period. And Razor just took another one. And that was a rocket. Doctors checking Razor out very quickly. That was close to the eye.
And I hope no one got mad at him for swearing, because honestly, what else are you supposed to exclaim in that moment? It was just like, dude, he's got to be a dad, right? That's exactly how a dad would react to getting a puck to the face. Well, the Sabres were in Carolina yesterday, and the Hurricanes did Razor a solid, leaving some bubble wrap for him between the benches.
This is what Carolina left for Rob Ray. Oh, great move by Mike Sondheim and the PR staff. Great humor. Shane Gostisbehere on this power play unit.
Oh my God! Oh God, the zoom in, I can't. I wanted a reaction from him though. Like, I wanted to see him getting the bubble wrap, maybe wrapping himself up. Like, that's cute. That's it for me today. We will see you right back here Monday. Have an amazing weekend.